Hey there, I'm Emma, a kettlebell coach and personal trainer, and today I have a fun new journey that we're going to go on together. I want to go on a glute growth journey because when I was in my 20s, I had a really easy time growing my glutes. I kind of did it by accident. Like a year into exercising really hard, I had a great butt. But, no pun intended, now that I'm in my mid-30s, it's gotten a lot harder to grow muscle without being super intentional. And on top of that, I've dealt with some lower back injuries with herniated discs, and I'm currently getting over glute medius tendinosis, which is a mouthful. And I think I just need to be a lot more intentional about how to grow my glutes and build up that muscle group. And I'm gonna take you along with me because I think it'll be fun. So I'm filming this in real time, this series with you. It's gonna be an ongoing thing. Right now, it's the end of April. So this 12 weeks will run us through about the end of July. I'm starting the program this week and I wanna share it with you. I wanna share what I'm doing, what my thought process is, and along the way, I'm gonna take you along for workouts. I'm gonna show you progress photos and videos. And at the end, I hope to have a really great glute program to share with you all. So I have a lot of experience in strength training, but hypertrophy work is just not my wheelhouse. Hypertrophy refers to muscle growth. It means working out in a rep count and weight class that is going to actually grow that muscle mass. Not just make it stronger, not make it more powerful, not make it have better endurance, but make it physically larger. So that's just not really my specialty. Kettlebells aren't the best hypertrophy tool. They're better for building strength and building power and muscular endurance. So that's what I kind of use it for, and that's where my personal strengths lie now. So I turned to this book that I bought many, many years ago. I bought it when it came out. Let's see, when did it come out? When was this published? I bet you I pre-ordered it too. So it came out in 2019, so I've had it for like 5 years. It's by Brett Contreras. He calls himself the glute guy. I don't really like him. I think he's kind of full of himself, but that is not here nor there because his results speak for themselves. If you look through his Instagram, it is just littered with before and afters of women who went from no booties to like giant donks. And while I'm not necessarily trying to get to that level, I did see on Instagram a woman who I really respect. Her name's Lauren Pack. I don't know if you follow her and her husband. They're awesome coaches. But she was saying that she just has never had the genetics to have a great butt. And maybe she can't build a peach, but she's working on building a plum. So like, I'm going to set my sights for the next 12 weeks on getting to some plum status. Like, we're not trying to be big peaches over here. I just want to be a little bit better than where I am. So anyways, I am pulling out the Glute Lab because Brett wrote a 600-page Bible on everything to do with butts. And honestly, I don't think you need this much information. A lot of it's really repetitive, and he talks just a lot about himself in this book that is supposed to be more of an academic textbook. So, well, that's confusing. I don't want you to have to go and get the book and subject yourself to listening to him. So I am going to go through it and find the best and most useful information and digest it and help you on your own glute journey with it as well. So where I started in this book is he has some templates for programs for glute growth. There is a beginner one, an intermediate one, and an advanced one. The beginner one was purely body weight for like the first 2 months. Now, I am a coach. I can deadlift and squat my own body weight on a good day. I can do pull-ups. Like, I've got a really strong strength base. The beginner program was too easy for me. Whereas the advanced program, I think he calls it more like the dessert, like it's the fun stuff, but you really want to like live in the intermediate area. And this is true with all strength training, right? We kind of like get people up to snuff with body weight exercises and teach them movement mechanics. And then a couple months down the road, they're able to move on to the kind of training that will look like the majority of what you should do throughout your lifetime. Deadlifting, squatting, pushing, pulling, swinging, just these really fundamental movement patterns that everyone needs. So anyways, I fast forwarded to that part of his program and I put together a 12-week program for myself that kind of uses his glute focus template, but Brett is a big power lifter. And powerlifting is around back squats, strict military presses, chest press, and deadlifts, all with barbells. And I want to keep my kettlebell training in my programming. I want to stay true to my kettlebell self, and I'm not looking to give up kettlebells altogether. So I'm not going to worry about the strict press with a barbell, and I'm not super concerned about chest press with barbells either. I mean, that's fun, but I think that's an opportunity for me to work on other kettlebell specific moves like the Turkish get up. So I'm going to use his programming, and I've put together this 12-week program for myself kind of with that as an inspiration. And this book really breaks down every single exercise you could possibly use for glutes in extensive detail. So personally, I find that back squats are really, really challenging for me. I back squat like an Olympic lifter where I'm very upright because I like front squats. So my natural squat positioning is very upright. Whereas if you want to grow your glutes, you actually want to have a really hingy back squat. So I'm going to really lean into his textbook to learn how to get the most out of my lifts. And I think along the way, I'm going to take you along on some workouts. We're going to go to the gym together, and I'm going to explain to you maybe where I'm starting and then the tips I'm able to implement to get to have better form to ultimately target the glutes better and be able to work my way up in weight. Now, I mentioned I do have a few injuries. So I have herniated L4, L5, S1, which is the discs in your lower back that kind of refer to lower back and leg pain. And I've had those since 2019. And until about 2 months ago, I could not hip thrust without excruciating nerve pain. I could be completely out of pain, living my best life, and I'll try to hip thrust just 40, 50 pounds, and it sends me into a terrible flare-up. But I recently decided with my physical therapist I wanted to overcome this, so we have been really easing me in, being very specific about the form, making sure I do the proper activation exercises before I try to hip thrust. And backtrack for a second, hip thrusts are like the cornerstone of a glute building program. And it's one of the reasons my glutes were so good when I was younger. I used to hip thrust like over 300 pounds multiple times a week just because it's a fun lift to do. So long story short, my physical therapist and I have achieved me hip thrusting. As of last week, it was 85 pounds without pain. Now, 85 pounds is not going to grow your butt, unfortunately, but it is getting me on my way. So as I go through this glute program, my goal is to really increase the amount of weight that I can tolerate and not end up in pain from. Because my problem is I've been strength training for so many years and I'm so strong in certain ways that the amount of weight I need to challenge myself with hypertrophy to be able to actually grow the glutes and be able to hold that weight for an appropriate number of reps tends to send me into pain. But I know exercise science works like this. If I start light and I work my way up and I am patient and consistent and kind to myself, that I can get to those challenging weights that are going to grow my glutes. So that is what I'm going to really focus on the first 4 weeks of this program, and really what I've been doing the last 2 months outside of here. I've been working on tolerating back squats better and improving my form, but there's still a long way to go. I've been working on building up a tolerance for those hip thrusts. Again, we've gotten some good distance. 40 pounds used to send me into a tizzy. Now I can do 85 pounds. Like, that's a win. And then, just having a really glute focused program where you're training glutes 4 days a week, that's going to be a big deal for somebody with glute tendinosis, which I have glute medius tendinosis, and I'm going to put a diagram here to show you where it is. But basically, even walking at one point in the last few months has been difficult for me. So we'll see how well I tolerate this. I think that because a lot of my glute tendinosis physical therapy exercises overlap with a glute building program, that I'm ultimately going to come out on top, but only time will tell. So you're going to come along and I will keep you updated how that's working. Now, let's go to the part of this book where the workouts are, because I film this on my phone. I do not use a camera for YouTube. I use my phone, and my program is on the phone. What I'm going to be doing is every 4 weeks of the next 12 weeks, I will do the same 4 workouts for a month. So I have a day 1, 2, 3, 4, and they change every 4 weeks. I am using the Glute Lab textbooks program to influence my program, and I'm going to put it up here on the screen for you. I'm not going to go through the whole thing. Feel free to screenshot it if you want, though what I'm doing right now is not tested. Like, I'm sharing it with you as I'm just starting to do it. But you're going to notice a few things. One, we are doing hip thrusts 3 days a week in this first bit of the cycle. We are squatting twice a week. And we are doing abduction with each workout, which means opening the leg away from the body, abduction. So these are kind of the pillars of the program. Right now, deadlifts are not the big emphasis. We will deadlift twice a week in the second month, and then we're going to add in more single leg stuff in the second and third month as well. And this program, the way it was written, had a really big focus on seated and standing military presses with a barbell, but I prefer to work with kettlebells, obviously, and I don't want to lose my kettlebell skills. So I am going to be doing kettlebell exercises instead. So I've got seated straddle presses, standing strict presses, Turkish get-ups, and snatches as part of my overhead programming for these 12 weeks. And then I'm going to be using kettlebell swings as movement prep before I get into this and as finishers. So that is how I'm keeping the practice of kettlebells in this glute building program. They are not going to be the thing that builds up my glutes because honestly, I'm just too strong for that at this point in my life. But they are going to be a very important supplement and also help me get there when I just can't get to the gym. Because of this program, truly only day 2 can be easily done at home because I don't have a barbell at home. And I'm going to have to get to the gym 3 days a week, which right now is not my norm, but we will see. All right, so the way I'm going to be using this book over the next 12 weeks is as a reference for how to do exercises properly. I have really great movement mechanics. I'm not going to lie. I'm a trainer. I have been a trainer for a very long time and I'm very comfortable with barbell lifting, but the back squat is my big kind of weakness when it comes to barbells. I don't love barbell back squatting, and because of that, I've always stayed away from it. So I'm really hoping that this book unlocks some really useful cues. I'm also going to utilize Squat University's videos because he has so many great resources for squatting. And I'm just going to take you along on the journey with me. I'm going to share with you my before and afters when it comes to form as well as when it comes to growth. So on the topic of before and afters, I want to show you what I look like now. So right here you can see me in a pair of tight leggings. My butt looks pretty flat. It's not non-existent. I mean, I do a lot of glute training. I just don't focus on glute growth. So my glutes are strong and powerful. They're just physically not very large. But let's also think about this as a teachable moment, because if you look at this right here, which was taken just 2 minutes after what you just saw, there's quite the difference. Look at this, one versus the other. In the purple leggings, my butt's pretty darn flat. And in the blue leggings, I've got quite the peach. And I just want to remind you that if somebody sells you a 4, 6, 12-week program that you think makes a night and day difference, they very likely are selling you lies, and they're sharing with you things that are modified through either the clothes they're wearing, if not AI and Photoshop and all that stuff. So just be wary. I'm going to keep checking in with you in both of these outfits, where you can see me in like a more compression-y outfit that is probably more realistic to what you look like in most pants, because pants are tight usually. And then me in these like Bella Booty leggings, that's the brand, that are meant to make your butt look good, so we can at least like appreciate the results as they come as well. So I'm going to be walking you through that. I'm also going to take measurements. I'm not going to share them now because there's nothing to compare them to, but I'm going to take measurements of my waist, hips, and thighs, so that way we can see what the growth looks like. And I'm going to share with you like what I'm doing to support my glute growth journey as far as nutrition. I think I need to eat more. I need to have a bigger focus on protein, which is like my constant struggle. Eat more protein. But I am going to need to be able to build, I need to build muscle, so I need fuel and protein to do that. All right, That is all for today. I am off to actually do my first workout. I'm going to head to the gym. I'm not sure if I'll record this specific one because that'll kind of depend on how obtrusive me filming is, honestly. And then I'm going to keep you guys posted. I'm thinking videos maybe every 3 weeks. I definitely want to be doing monthly check-ins as I change the programming, but I think that it would be fun to maybe do like a vlog style where I take you to the gym with me and really show you what I'm doing there in the nitty gritty, like show you each exercise. So if you're into this journey, make sure to like the video, please. That would mean a lot. And then subscribe to my channel so you get notified as I put up new videos. And let me know in the comments like what kind of info you'd like as I go along. And have a great day. I'll see you next week.